before BMW was about luxury and performance, it was about flight. This episode traces a century of reinvention, from airplane engines and stripped-down motorcycles to daring small cars that saved a company. Expect engines, war, near collapse, and the little machines that made BMW what it is today. BMW's roots start with two names you might not expect: Karl Rapp and Gustav Otto. In the 1910s, Europe needed aircraft engines, and both men were building advanced power plants. Gustav Otto ran Flugmaschinenfabrik Gustav Otto. Karl Rapp headed Rapp Motoren Werke. Government consolidation during World War I reshaped those companies. In 1916, Bayerische Flugzeugwerke, or BFW, was founded at Munich's Oberwiesenfeld airfield. 1 year later, Rapp's business was renamed Bayerische Motoren Werke GmbH, and by 1918 it became a public company. In 1922, BMW AG transferred its engine construction, its name and its emblem into BFW. That's why BMW counts March 7th, 1916, the founding of BFW, as its official birthday. The roundel with Bavaria's blue and white appeared in 1917. Advertising soon reimagined it as a spinning propeller, a symbol that connected BMW to aviation and stuck in the brand's DNA. But after World War I, Germany's restrictions on aircraft manufacture forced BMW to pivot. The company turned to railway brakes, industrial engines, and other mechanical products. Through reshuffles and acquisitions, the workforce, tooling and brand elements all landed in Munich's Oberwiesenfeld, the same site that remains BMW's global headquarters today. In 1923, BMW reinvented itself on two wheels. At the Berlin Motor Show, the company unveiled the R32, a motorcycle that completely redefined expectations. Designed by Max Friese, it introduced a boxer engine with cylinders mounted sideways, plus a shaft drive instead of a chain. Riders immediately noticed how durable and easy to service it was. The shaft drive meant less maintenance, and the flat twin delivered smooth, reliable power. Everything about the R32 felt engineered to last. This bike set the template for BMW motorcycles for decades to come. Boxer engines and shaft drives became the brand's signature, a DNA you can still see today. The R32 wasn't just a product. It was a milestone in motorcycle history that proved BMW could do more than airplanes. They could master the road. By the late 1920s, BMW was ready to build cars. In 1928, they purchased Fahrzeugfabrik Eisenach, and with it, the license to produce the tiny Austin 7. BMW rebadged it as the Dixi, their very first automobile. Soon after, BMW started creating their own designs. The 303 sedan arrived in 1933. The first BMW with a 6-cylinder engine, and the first to wear the now famous kidney grille. It was a symbol that the company had real ambitions in the car world. Sporty models followed quickly. The nimble 315 Roadster and then the 328 in 1936. Light, fast and beautifully engineered, the 328 became a racing legend, winning at the Nürburgring and the Mille Miglia and proving BMW could compete with the very best. As the 1930s wore on, BMW's story took a darker turn. Germany's rearmament shifted the company away from road cars and motorcycles and deep into aircraft engines. Massive factories were built, like the one at Allach, to meet the demands of the war economy. During World War II, BMW became a major supplier of engines for the Luftwaffe. Cars and motorcycles still existed, but they were a small part of the business. When the war ended, the consequences were severe. Allied forces occupied BMW's plants, stripped out machinery as reparations, and dismantled equipment. What had been vast industrial sites were left gutted, the company's future looked uncertain, and survival would take an entirely new beginning. After the devastation of the war, BMW needed something simple to rebuild. The answer came in 1948 with the R24, their first new motorcycle of the post-war era. It was based on the pre-war R23, but refined. A single-cylinder engine, shaft drive, and rugged frame made it cheap to run and easy to maintain at a time when Germany desperately needed affordable transport. Production was delayed by shortages and missing machinery, but once it got going, the R24 became a hit. In 1949 alone, BMW sold more than 9,000 units. That success proved the company still had its engineering magic. The R24 didn't just bring in money, it restored confidence that BMW could survive and eventually thrive in a world no longer defined by war. In 1952, BMW returned to automobiles with the 501, a large, elegant luxury saloon. Powered by an improved version of their pre-war six-cylinder engine, the 501 could seat 6 in comfort. It was a car meant to re-establish BMW's place in the premium market. But high costs and limited demand meant the 501 never became a big seller. Still, it signaled that BMW was back in the car business. By the late 1950s, BMW faced collapsing sales and mounting financial trouble. Salvation came in the unlikeliest form, the tiny BMW Isetta. In 1955, BMW licensed the bubble car design from Italy's Esso, then re-engineered it with their own 250 cubic centimeter motorcycle engine. The result was cheap to buy, cheap to run, and perfect for a country still rebuilding. Its front-opening door and egg-shaped body made it instantly recognizable. Families squeezed in, students zipped through city streets, and suddenly BMW had a bestseller. The Isetta wasn't glamorous, but it sold in huge numbers and kept the lights on. More importantly, it rebuilt goodwill with buyers and proved BMW could adapt. Without this quirky little microcar, the company might not have survived the 1950s. By 1959, BMW was on the brink. Sales were weak, debts were rising, and Daimler-Benz offered to take over. At the tense December shareholders meeting, collapse seemed certain. But small investors and workers refused to give in, voting the deal down. That stand gave industrialist Herbert Quandt the confidence to increase his stake. With his money, government support and a leaner strategy, BMW pulled back from disaster. Quandt's gamble kept the company independent, a turning point that set the stage for everything to come. The real comeback arrived in 1961 with the Neue Klasse, the new class of sporty sedans that redefined BMW. It began with the BMW 1500 shown at the Frankfurt Motor Show. Designed by Wilhelm Hofmeister with styling input from Giovanni Michelotti, the car introduced clean lines, a modern cabin, and the Hofmeister kink at the rear window. A design cue that still defines BMW today. Under the skin sat the brand new M10 4-cylinder engine. Over-square and incredibly robust, it delivered smooth power and became the backbone of BMW's lineup for decades. Independent suspension and disc brakes gave the 1500 handling far sharper than rivals in its class. Demand was immediate. Orders poured in faster than BMW could build them. The lineup expanded quickly. 1600s, 1800s and hotter twin-carb versions, each reinforcing the formula. Practical size, modern engineering and a sporty edge. The Neue Klasse didn't just save BMW financially. It created the template for the modern sports sedan. Its DNA carried straight into the next generation, including the 02 series, and cemented BMW's reputation worldwide. By the late 1960s, BMW had distilled the Neue Klasse formula into something even more focused, the BMW 2002. Compact, light and powered by a 2-liter version of the M10, the 2002 had sharp steering, a short wheelbase and an engine that loved to rev. On twisting mountain roads it felt alive, eager in the corners, quick to respond and genuinely fun to drive. The 2002 became the blueprint for the modern sports sedan. It wasn't just transportation, it was a driver's car, a machine that made everyday roads feel like racetracks. In the city, the BMW 2002 was just as special. Its compact size made parking easy, its lively engine kept traffic entertaining, and the cabin had real space for everyday use. It turned commuting into something more, proof that even a practical car could feel exciting. The BMW 2002 wasn't just a fun street car, it proved itself on the track. Thanks to its light weight, sharp handling and tunable M10 engine, the 2002 became a favorite among privateers and club racers. It was affordable to modify, durable under stress and competitive against much larger rivals. Twin-carb and TII versions added more power, and soon the 2002 was taking podiums in touring car events across Europe. In 1973, BMW even launched the 2002 Turbo, one of the very first turbocharged production cars in Europe, and a sign of the company's bold engineering spirit. On circuits from the Nürburgring to smaller national series, the 2002 earned a reputation as a giant killer. It blended agility, strength and personality, proving that a compact sedan could win races and capture hearts. This motorsport legacy set the stage for BMW's future dominance, laying the groundwork for the M division and the performance culture that would define the brand in the decades ahead. The BMW 2002 drove off into history, a symbol of survival and reinvention. Next time, the story shifts into high gear. We'll explore the birth of the 3 Series, the car that defined BMW for generations. From the E21 to the legendary E30 M3, discover how BMW built an icon and how the brand's performance DNA went from racetrack to everyday roads.